National Director of Enterprise Sales for AMP. He's been with AMP for the last 5.5 years and been in the industry for over 15. Please welcome John.
Thanks, Eddie. So we're going to talk today about some smart sortation equipment. We're going to tell you a little bit about AMP to kind of set the stage for that, and then really get into the smart sorting solutions. So AMP has been around for 10 years, so our 10th year this year, which is exciting. We've been able to, during that time, gather some great funding along the way, which has helped us to scale to the largest fleet of automated recycling systems deployed across 27 states, 10 countries, 3 continents. And now, as we kind of go into this next phase, designing, building, and operating automated sorting facilities. So in the timeline, just to share a couple things, from the 2014 to 2024, all along this journey of ours, we've used the same sorting technology, the same AI-based machine learning that the company was created on by Matanya Horowitz. So we've been able to really scale that, advance that technology through that time, and use it, in ways that the industry hadn't really seen before. And then, the middle kind of here in this COVID era, 2020, 2022, we had that was kind of a driving step for us, where we got to over 300 systems deployed, expanded to Europe, launched our first 3 systems of our own, sorting facilities, reached a great milestone with Waste Connections, who's been a wonderful partner of ours, and deploying over 50 units with the AI technology. And then reach this milestone here too, where our AI identifies 75 billion objects on an annual basis, which I will share more in a second. I do have a couple of videos as well, so they will tell the story better than I can.
There's value in waste. Always has been. Throughout history, when it's mattered most.
You give us the scrap. We'll turn it into tanks, planes.
We remember that there's a use for the things we throw away. The only question is how to capture it. Today, we're called to do more than ever. To process more, recover more, and to lead more sustainable communities. But what got us here won't get us there. We need more power. We need tools that never tire. Technology that's smart enough to identify everything and fast enough to keep up with a job that's never done. This is the power of AMP. Harnessing AI to drive a new era of sortation. With less labor, more efficiency, and greater resource recovery. Because to unlock the value of waste, all you need is the power to sort it out. AMP, the power to solve waste.
So what you saw there was a little bit of the facilities that we've been able to design and build. Again, it's kind of AMP at scale here, 400 plus AI systems globally, 100 plus facilities that are using the technology. And again, the 75 billion object number, which is very important to the development and the ongoing development of the AI and the technology. And what that allows us to do is to use the deep learning to continuously train the systems. So when you're seeing 75 billion items, millions of material images and data, we're able to use all kinds of identifiers off those items to continually train the system. So whether you're seeing the colors, textures, shapes, whatever it might be, where each individual unit is seeing that, each individual unit is registering that, and then acting upon it. And then we're able to take all of that data back in, and we anonymize it, we go through, we aggregate it, and then we look for any anomalies. We look for misidentifications, we look for other things where the AI or the system didn't properly, complete its job, and we're able to then retrain the system. And upon retraining the system, then that information is sent back out to the entire fleet. So you have this continuous learning of all of the AI systems. So that's really where the power comes with, these AI sortation systems. And again here, just an example, a little more detail on this Coke bottle of things that we're using to identify, whether it's the cap, or if the cap's gone, the little red rim that would still be there, the transparency, color, the label itself, if it's food grade, and contamination. Oftentimes these bottles come through facilities and they have, hypodermic needles or other things in them that people think they're disposing of properly. They get here, the system can identify that and then act upon it. Same as Joe mentioned with glass. If we were looking at glass and able to identify glass by different colors, the different shapes and lids and things that you might see come through a facility. And then that leads to, this is what we call our color wheel, but it leads to then, a deeper level of being able to identify and, again, train and teach these systems. So if you look at, this, when we looked at the Coke bottle, I thought that was going back, but that's okay. To look at that and just say, hey, that's a PET bottle. But then as the system has advanced, and over the last 10 years, again, being able to identify, you have these extended categories, which could be PET green, PET blue, PET color, so that you can now get down to a more granular level, which ultimately allows you to create stronger end product coming out of your facilities. So if you have stronger, end product, stronger bales coming through, more purity, then you're likely in line for higher revenues and higher dollars that come with that as well. And then again, just as we talked about extensive classification, which really, the kind of a critical word here that I haven't mentioned yet is even down to the brand level. We do get a lot of attention from major brands that are starting to really look at recycling, look at where their items are going, I'd like to think that's all, because they really earnestly do care about that. I know some of it is driven by legislation and other things that may come, or litigation even, but we do have a lot of customers that are coming and looking and wanting to understand, brand recognition to know where their materials are ending up along the recycling process. So for AMP, what we do, sortation is really what we offer here. And we offer it again now in two formats, where we're going to show you a little bit about the smart sortation products that we have and that group of systems. But again, this is either on a full facility level, to where you're just responsible to bring feedstock in and take your material, off your finished goods off the back, and we can handle everything in between for you. Or the model that kind of built the business on, which was the more traditional of being able to add AI-powered upgrades to existing facilities. But in both these scenarios, and in everything that we do, it's really, again, based on the smart sortation solutions, where we're able to bundle the technology and the services together. So here's an example of our kind of fleet of technology, the smart solutions that, again, we can drop into a facility on an individual basis, or we would use this technology to build a facility, again, from start to finish for you. It all starts with the vision system, which, if you think about it, is really the eyes and the brain of the system that's identifying every item that comes through, and then making, based on all of those identifiers we talked about, making, decisions in milliseconds to determine what that is, and then how to act upon it based on how the facility has been set up. All of these pieces of equipment have a vision system, because you can't have an operating piece of equipment, in our instance, without that brain and that, the eyes of the system. But you can have vision systems individually. They can be a standalone product. So that's where, as we're building out facilities, you really get to, as you stack these technologies on, you get to these high levels of efficiency, because you can have a vision system at the front of the facility, you can have one at the back, you can also sandwich them in between different pieces of equipment along the way. So you can see exactly how each individual spot or flow within your facility is operating. And then you can make real-time adjustments on that. Some of the others, our Deltas are original robotic arms, where we have, our single cell and our tandem cell. Our Delta C, which is a smaller footprint of the Delta. So we heard from our customers that, there wasn't always proper spacing for these larger systems, and there were spots where we would be able to add, the smaller Delta C systems. Our VAC, which is a thin film removal system. Our Microjet, which is the smallest form of the systems that we would put in a facility. If you think of that, it's like a cross belt jet, where the material's identified coming down the belt, and then you have jets that operate across the belt to remove the material. And then our amp jet, which again is the workhorse of all of these products, and just think of that as an AI-powered optical sorter. So you see an example of a facility that we built. This was pre-operation, very clean. Wish, as you all know, I wish they all still looked this way when they're up and running. But again, what this allows you from front to back is that real-time and continuous characterization of material, and also of suppliers. We have a very strong handle on what comes into our facility, who it's come from. Once it's processed, then we have metrics where we can speak to and strengthen relationships with those suppliers on the back end as well, based on how material may have come through. Bunker purity and mass monitoring with real-time anomaly detection. So, the system can have alerts set. So in the event, again, if you have a spot where all of a sudden you're seeing, 10 or 15% more PET there than you're normally supposed to see, the system will set alerts. It will look upstream, try to find where the problem is. It can alert, maintenance staff and other people there as well, so that you can make adjustments real time, rather than a lot of times traditionally, someone has to kind of walk around the facility and see a change visually, instead of being able to have that prompted and addressed through the technology. As far as the end markets, capable of sorting to a wide variety of products, custom products as well. So obviously to any of the kind of ISRI grade specs for recyclables, but also, depending on the type of recipe that you're looking for, we have customers that have us sort to a pyrolysis mix or a methanolysis mix as well. And then again, with the system, with the alerts and some of the ease of use, it really allows you to reconfigure process flow with no downtime. So those changes can be made at the facility level. They can be made by facility personnel, and you can make changes on the fly if you have a different type of material. Let's say you're running single stream in the morning, and you're running a commercial grade material in the afternoon. You can change the system very quickly to adapt. Some of the other metrics, we recover over 90% of the targeted materials that come through the facility. Again, with what we call our optimized flow control, so making sure that the material is metered and coming in correctly and shown properly to the equipment. These designs that we've put together are scalable, so we have a very efficient system models that kind of piece together almost, so that the system can grow with you in the event that you are in an area where maybe the communities grow, or tonnage is going to grow. You can kind of add these facilities and make them larger, kind of through a modular design. Also, there's CapEx models. We try to make this very easy as a point of entry, but we also have more of an OpEx model, where AMP as sortation as a service can come in and run the facility from front to back. So we operate the facility for you. That obviously, changes the economics some, but takes away the concerns of maintenance, staffing, other things that you might be dealing with today. And again, in those scenarios, you're simply bringing material in on the front side and then taking finished goods out on the back. And then as we discussed, flexible input streams. So whether it's single stream, some sort of secondary sortation, MSW, we have facilities running all these different types of materials. And again, with the smart sortation technology, we're able to do some things there that, maybe the industry hasn't seen. So as we finish, there's one more video to show you, but this is where we are focused today, providing data-driven automation, which creates operational efficiencies, monitors plant performance, measures your yields, tracks value, validates bale purity, and then ultimately provides a higher revenue stream for the facilities with materials that come through the back end. I have one more video to end with.
Well, the first thing people say when they see an AMP1 is, where are all the people? I'm Kevin Papich, Director of Facilities Operations at AMP. Here in Cleveland, we can sort up to 60,000 tons per year without any of it touching the human hand. We're doing it with a system that knows, in real time, the composition of what we're sorting to get more value out of the waste stream. AMP1 is a fully automated waste sortation facility. People know AMP for our AI and robotic sortation. This facility uses AMP AI to distinguish between hundreds of categories and combinations of paper, plastics, and metals. We're able to tag every bale we produce with a barcode that links to precise purity and composition. And instead of a big manual sortation team, we only need a small crew focused on performance and maintenance. Here's how it works. AMP1 can take baled or loose material as end feed. We run the material through a reducer to size it. Then, instead of manual sorters, we use AI vision and robotic automation to sort material so our people can focus on more value-added work. First, an AMP vac pulls off plastic film. Then, the material runs through a series of AMP jets. Jets sort material by form factor, material type, color, polymer, and even brand. We use double cut sortation to process 2 material streams at once. Every jet can be reconfigured in real time to sort for 2 different material streams. So we get a lot of shots on goal for every piece of material that flows through the line. We have a recirculation line that gives us the option to take a second or third shot at getting more value out of the residue stream. The system monitors the residue stream for heavies and purges when they reach a certain level, all automatically.
Look, with AMP1, we're trying to optimize your value over time sorted. Having AMP vision at every step of the process means we can make intelligent decisions about the trade-offs between things like tons and purity. So we send as little value to the compactor as possible. That's really the goal.
At every stage of the process, AMP AI is identifying what's in the waste stream, so we know exactly how well we're performing and exactly what's ending up in every bale. All you have to do is drop off and pick up. AMP does the rest. Only AMP1 gives you this kind of accuracy, flexibility, and real-time customization. That's the power of AI sortation at scale.
So what you saw there was a little longer form video showing, the process of the smart sortation equipment, kind of how the material would flow from front to back coming through. With that, I thank you. I'm happy to answer questions. I think we're going to do some questions at the end, and we also have a booth in the exhibit hall. If you have any questions, you can come by there and see me as well. Thanks.